Here we are, folks. It is Monday, March 1st. What a unbelievable time. You know, when you become very chronologically gifted like I am, the time goes by so fast. An old Jewish friend of mine once said to me, he says, Tom, when you're 20, 1 year is 1/20th of time. When you're 40, it's 1/40th of time. When you're 60, it's 1/60th of time. And soon to be 72 is 1/72nd of time. So to me, a year just feels like a few months. It seems like only a couple of weeks ago it was the Christmas holidays, but here we are. We're on the verge of spring. We've had a bunch of snow this winter. It is sunny outside today, a little chilly, but we had 50, 60-degree weather over the weekend, and it was gorgeous. So with that, we're going to start out. I'm Tom Young. I'm here for Money Shifts, podcasts, and Facebook Live. We're going to open the door today to some more muscle strengthening, and that's what we need to focus on. But as we start every presentation, I want to start today again with prayers for everybody that has been affected by COVID. And that is just everybody that's out there, because I don't believe there is anybody else on the planet. I mean, I read something the other day about the rainforest in Brazil, the people that haven't been seen ever, are now impacted by COVID in some way. So with that being said, our prayers go out for everybody that is affected by COVID, and especially those who have lost loved ones, and for the loved ones that have been lost, that the Lord above would open his arms and gather them into his world and his realm in heaven. We hope and pray for that for everybody. As we get started today, remember, we're about the financial mastery coaching, the CFO project, as I refer to it as, because we are all self-employed. You trade time for money in some way. That is no different than a business. A business has employees. He pays them a wholesale value of income, and the product that they produce, he sells for a retail, and there's a spread between the cost of production and the sale price, and that becomes the profit margin of the business. We have the same element in our home. We trade time for money, we bring it in, and now it is our responsibility to manage it well. Otherwise, we're never really going to end up with a lot of money in the back end. The financial mastery blueprint that I have created, that we will soon have published online, there are 4 main rules over there. Okay? Save 20% of your income. Accumulate capital equal to 50% of your household income, so you never have to have credit card balances or consumer debt. Number 3, you eliminate all consumer debt, or you own it. Now, Tom, what do you mean by own it? In other words, I bought a car 2 years ago, and I set up a payment schedule for 60 months at 8% interest. But I paid for it out of money from a life insurance company based on one of my life insurance policies. So I borrowed money from the insurance company. My policy was collateral. Now, my policy is still earning interest and dividends because it is part of a dividend-paying mutual life insurance policy, and I'm paying the insurance company 5% interest to use that money with my money as collateral. So I'm making on average 3 to 3.5% rate of return overall in that policy. I'm paying them 5%, so my net cost of borrowing is 1.5%. But that's just the mathematical part of it. The great part of that is I'm in control. Because if I lose my job, which I don't have a job, I'm self-employed, but if you lose your job and can't make a payment for a while, guess what? Nobody's going to call you and say, where's my payment? It's about being in charge. It's about being in control of the money. I could go on and on and on about that. We've talked about the debt of the government and the things that are going on. We've talked about the World Bank is sooner or later going to run out of money. I don't know how they can continue to print money without some eventual catastrophic circumstance will happen because of the printed money. All I know is if I hope and plan to survive what is coming, I need to be in control of my money. So investing for the future is what? What is the reason? What is your purpose for investing in the future? Well, maybe it's to retire someday. If I think of two parallel paths, draw two lines across the middle of a piece of paper, going to the right, left to right, put a little arrow tip on one end, and those two parallel arrows are really what your financial life is all about. The first line is about protection. Liability, disability, death. We need to protect from those for our family, for ourselves. The second line, arrow to the right, is about accumulation of money, accumulation of capital. But when I look at that, and I'm just starting out, I would draw a line from below on the left all the way up like this. There would be a line there. That curve represents, well, gee, in the future, I may have a lot of money, but today I made a contribution into my 401k or IRA or pension or whatever, and it's only worth the $15,000 I put in, not the millions of dollars it's going to be worth someday. So in the early period of time, I need to mix protection with accumulation of capital together to create harmony, to protect myself from all of the things that may happen. So I would ask you a question. What are the things that might happen along the way to prevent you from building this curve? Because you don't own it. You don't own this curve because there are things in life that will happen to all of us eventually. Job loss, disability, lawsuits, divorce, death, market fluctuations. All of these things are out there that we will have to deal with along the way. Are you protected? In the way that I help people plan, we end up with 100% certainty of reaching 95% of our goal versus 100% without certainty, with maybe on average a 50% result, 50% chance of the result. I don't know about you. I don't know which one of those I would choose. I know which one I would choose. Which one would you choose? More certainty or higher risk? It's like rolling the dice, going to the casino. Now, as we start out, we're talking about the book, Cybernetics. There it is, right there. See, I'm right there, okay? Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. And we're in chapter 2 today. This is the month of March. It's the beginning of March. And we're going to go through this book during the month and different elements of the book and how they apply to us creating success and wealth and happiness and finding joy. So chapter 2 is simply called Fulfillment in Your Self-Image. It's interesting. I want to read a couple little things in here about this. It says, every day we get up and we have habits. So we have a routine, most of us do, every morning. And many of them are very superficial ways that these habits are us. Washing, showering, shaving, powdering, breakfasting. But what will this day bring? Frustration or self-fulfillment? Perhaps I should rephrase that, Maxwell said. What will you bring to yourself this day? Frustration or self-fulfillment? Because you are not helpless and passive, chances are your day does not just happen to you. You must make yourself responsible for the caliber of your day. So, I mean, I thought that was pretty profound when I read it, but it still comes down to this thinking muscle, and that's what we're doing. This is about exercising your thinking muscle. That's what I'm all about. I want to stretch you. See, a rubber band, once stretched, never goes back to its original size. So I want to stretch your thinking. I want to help you find the ingredients necessary for you to have a great self-image. And that great self-image is a key ingredient to having success. And I use the word success in a lot of conversation. But to each and every one of us, success could mean something different. Success could mean having a lot of money someday. I think having money is important. It's right up there with oxygen. And if you want to be a contributor in life, it's going to take money in some way. Poor people can't help other poor people. And if you don't make enough money to buy your time, see, money buys time. That's really what money does. It buys time. It's just like when you're younger, you have human capital. Human capital is your ability to go to work and earn a paycheck, or own a business and run a business and create money that way. Human capital is so important, first off, to understand it, and then realize that the human capital that we all have is what we have in the early times, the beginning. And as we get older, more chronologically gifted along the way, our human capital diminishes because we have fewer and fewer years of possible contributing and creating. Eventually, we will get to a point in life where either based on our decision or physical or whatever means is going to stop us from working. And you have to have typical planning, this huge pile of capital in financial mastery, prosperity economics. It's about passive residual income. So when I'm younger and going through my life, I want to approach financial success by my success at creating passive residual income. Once I get through the first couple of levels, goal number 1 and goal number 2, and now I'm into goal number 3 on the financial mastery blueprint, and I've accumulated 50% of my annual income in capital. So now the door opens to start the CFO trading. And now wherever I have money positioned, I'm going to try to position it where I have the best cash flow with the most amount of certainty with it. So that whatever I'm doing, I have certainty that I'm going to win. And generating this income over my lifetime, using that income to start paying some of my expenses, thereby freeing up more of my working income to save without taking away from my lifestyle. That is so critical to understand that. I'm not about asking you for more money to do something with. It's my responsibility. It's my job to show you where the money is that you may be losing unknowingly and unnecessarily, and show you how to restructure, to recapture some of that money, to do the things we're talking about that we really want to do. if you have a family, would you not want to protect your family? If on the way home from work today, you ended up in an accident and you went north instead of coming back, so you're gone, but not forgotten because you planned properly. I always tell a story to people. I says, imagine this story. Here is a gentleman, nice guy, he has a great job, great personality, and here he is, he works every day, has a wife, 2 kiddos, chicken in every pot, 2 cars in the driveway. Life is moving forward and copacetic. So one morning, the wife wakes up and looks over to the other side of the bed and he's gone. He's not there. It's unusual because she usually gets up with the kids before he does. But this morning he's gone. And she got up and started looking around. It was funny because the cupboard door was open and she looked inside and a bunch of his clothes were gone. And the suitcase that sat in the bottom of the cupboard is now gone. And she looked out the window down in the driveway and his car is gone. And he disappeared. He's gone. He left the family with no income, no money, because he cleaned the bank account out. And he just scrammed, he left. Maybe it was a preload to a divorce, I don't know, but he's gone. He left the family, the wife and the kids, penniless, with very little of anything. And the wife was a great stay-at-home mom. She worked at home, took care of the kids, and he's gone. Now, I want you to think about this next question I'm going to ask. What would you call this guy who snuck out in the middle of the night, took some of his clothes and left forever and left the family high and dry? What would you call this guy? You have a name? I can think of a few. Scoundrel, whatever. Let's take that same story, same guy, same wife, same kids, same story, but yet last night on the way home, he was in an auto accident and got killed. He had no life insurance, no nothing, and he was, 30-something years old, 40-something years old, and didn't have much saved, didn't protect his savings, didn't protect his life. And he's now gone and left the family high and dry the same way as the guy that left in the middle of the night. What would you say about this guy? These are tough questions, folks. But I know that there is dark times coming. They're talking about it. If you listen to what's going on, they're talking about it under their breath. It's there. The conversation is there. The One World Bank is waiting for things to crash so they can institute socialism worldwide. And we all become slaves to the big worldwide bank. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for. I don't think that's what you're looking for. Otherwise, why are you here listening to me? I don't know a lot of people like me are telling you face to face that I love you, I want to make a difference in your life, and I want to use the 44 years of experience in working with people and coaching people and helping people implement plans that they really want, but don't have a clue on how to initiate, because the typical financial world has literally buried all this information and led you to believe different than truth. Remember what I said, a lie is easily believed when it is repeated often enough. But truth takes effort and work to be believed. I'm going to cut it off there for today. Tomorrow we'll be back. And tomorrow is fulfillment through clear thinking. We're going to get into this deeper tomorrow. And the next page, your self-image. You or somebody else, obey or oppose, unbelief or understanding, resentment or reason, stranger or friend, enthusiasm or extinction, live or perish, fact or fiction, indecision or decision, mind watcher or mind avoider, adjustment or atrophy, go-go or no-no, an enterprise or emptiness. So we're going to continue our journey talking about self-fulfillment. This is an amazing subject, folks. When I read this book, it made such a difference in my life because my level of understanding increased dramatically in how I see things, my perspective. Remember, the perspective is how we see life. Perception is how you interpret what you see. Get my new book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any big bookseller. You can send me a message here. We'll just through PayPal, we'll make arrangements to pay for it, and I will send you an autographed copy. If you're really interested in what I'm talking about, you can go to cfo-project.com. There it is, cfo-project.com. Put in your email address, and it will instantly give you a link to download my new book, cover to cover, load it on your computer, load it onto your cell phone so you can read it. If you want to do some more research and find some more things beyond that, here's my other site, First Consultants, www.1stconsultantsinc.com. Go over there, join. There is a tremendous, tremendous amount of wealth over there in knowledge, videos. Go to Financial Curves Inc., which is the other site. I have created a tremendous amount of content to help you. God bless. We'll see you here tomorrow at 12 noon. Bye.